We all have our problems. Mine just happened to be glandular. Today, I present to you the new, just released Wouxun Ocean KGS88G GMRS Walkie Talkie. Normally, this is the point in the video where all those other annoying YouTubers would beg you to subscribe or mash the like button, or they would try to teach you what the subscribe button is for, as if you were some kind of idiot. The price for the new Wouxun Ocean KGS88G GMRS radio is $139. Affiliate link below. And buy2wayradios.com did send me this radio at no cost so that I could share it with you, my favorite viewer. When you purchase the Wouxun Ocean KGS88G radio, you will receive in the box a customer warranty card. You will receive a user's manual, 88 pages long, written in perfect American English. It goes over how to use the radio. It goes over every option in the radio and what it's for. And it is mostly written in plain English so that you do not have to be a radio dork to understand what it says. You can tell a lot about the quality of the radio based on how much time and effort the company puts into the user manual. As usual, Wouxun has put a lot of time and effort into this user manual. You will receive a belt clip, sturdy and strong, not like those cheesy, cheap little ones that come with the cheesy, cheap little radios. You will receive some screws for affixing said belt clip to the back of the radio. And the belt clip does affix to the radio, not to the battery, so that when you change the battery, the belt clip stays on the radio, so you only need one belt clip instead of multiple belt clips if you have extra batteries. You will receive this very handsome wrist strap for affixing to any appendage of your choosing. You will receive a charging cradle for placing the battery or the radio while it is affixed to the battery into for charging. You will receive a 110 or 120 volt power adapter, which plugs into the charging cradle, thusly, and the other end plugs into the holes in your wall. You will receive an antenna. This is a UHF antenna tuned specifically for the UHF GMRS range. And upon close inspection, you can see that it says from 462 to 467 megahertz. You will receive a battery. The battery affixes to the radio. And upon close inspection, you will see that it says it is a 2000 milliamp hour battery. And you will receive the Wouxun Ocean KG-S88G GMRS handheld HT walkie talkie. In order to use the radio, you must first affix the battery. Thusly, the battery is very easy to remove once you get the trick of it, by lifting up on this clip in the back while simultaneously sliding it down. Very easy to remove. As you see, the radio comes in this fashionable gray, and black. Or you can optionally order this even more fashionable orange option. The chicks dig the orange. The KG-S88G has all of the standard functions of most GMRS radios. It has an on and off button and volume control, channel selector knob, and the knobs are very tight. And that means that it's difficult to accidentally change the volume or accidentally change the channel because they don't spin freely. Yes, it's supposed to be that way. As you already saw, the antenna is removable, and it uses a standard SMA female antenna, which goes into a SMA male. It has a flashlight. I always make fun of the flashlights, but when you're out adventuring, if you have no other flashlight, you'll be glad you had it. It has 3 programmable buttons, the orange on the top, and 2 side programmable buttons. Each of those buttons has 2 functions, a long press and a short press, so you can program them to do 6 different things. It has a transmit and receive light and a push-to-talk button here. The controls are similar to many other new radios: menu, exit, channel up and down. And behind the magic door, you will find a standard K1 type connector that you can use to hook up an external microphone or a programming cable. That's the type that looks like this. This is the programming cable that does not come with it. You can program it all by hand, but it is much easier and faster if you do it using the free software that you can get from the product webpage at buy2aradios.com. This cable is not included. The cost is $15 or $15.99, $15 or $16. Affiliate link below. And behind this magic door, you will find the pride and joy of this radio. Something that many radios do not have, and that is a USB-C charging adapter. You can charge this radio directly by plugging in one of your multiple USB-C cables that you've got laying around the house, directly into there, stick the other end into your USB charger hole, and you can charge the radio without using the charging cradle. People have been begging for this for years, and finally, Wouxun has delivered. The Wouxun KG-S88G is a single band radio. It transmits only on GMRS, and it can receive only the UHF band 400 to 479 megahertz. It is a super heterodyne radio. That makes it a much better quality radio than the cheaper SOC type radios. A super heterodyne radio has better selectivity. That means that you will receive less static and less bleed over from strong transmissions that may be nearby. Generally speaking, super heterodyne radios are better quality than the cheaper SOC or direct conversion type radios. The box says that this is a 5-watt radio. I will test that momentarily. And this radio can store 400 channels for custom repeaters or scanning on non-GMRS frequencies. The manual says only 256 channels, but they updated the radio, and I have an old manual. It will probably take them a while to update and print up a bunch of new manuals. This radio has an IP67 rating. That makes it waterproof and submersible. And one feature that this radio has is a priority channel button or a favorite channel button. You can program your favorite channel or priority or most important channel. And then when you press that button, it will quickly jump to that channel. And by default, the radio comes with channel 19, which, as we all know, is the official highway and road channel, so that no matter what channel you're on, whether it's receiving or not receiving, you can press that button, thusly, and quickly jump to channel 19. You can change that to any channel you want, and you can put multiple channels in so that pressing the button multiple times would jump to those multiple channels in series. And of course, like all radios of quality, the Wouxun KG-S88G does have a Roger beep. And it is a very sexy Roger beep. You can program pretty much everything directly on the radio by using the buttons after you read the user manual, or you can download the free software directly from buy2aradios.com, and using the aforementioned programming cable, affiliate link below, you can use a computer to program it, which is much faster. You can do pretty much everything directly on the radio itself, except for a custom startup screen message. like that. For that, you will need the software. I think you can do everything else directly on the radio. There may be one or two other small things that you can only do in the software. I haven't found those things yet, but for all intensive purposes, you can do everything directly on the radio. The KGS88G is slightly smaller than the other Wouxun Ocean radios like the 905G, 935G, and UV9G. Not much, but some. Right at about 4 inches by right at about 2 by just under 1.5 inches. But we all know it is not the size of your radio that matters. What matters is how far you can shoot your comms. Now, Wouxun says that this radio is IP67 rated, which means it's fully submersible. So let's test that. Now, usually for submersion tests, all those other boring YouTubers use water. I use this. So let's see how she does in the submersion test. But first, allow me to make something very, very clear. Because if I'm not very clear, some people will go all around the internet leaving comments on my videos and on Reddit and Facebook saying that I tell people that you should put your radio in fruit punch. I am not saying that you should put your radio in fruit punch. I am specifically saying do not put your radio in fruit punch. I do it so that you don't have to. And some sharp-witted viewers may leave comments warning me that if I put this in here, it's going to get all sticky. Don't worry, it will not get all sticky until it dries. Make sure that it's turned on. It is turned on, as you can see, and in she goes. So I'm just going to set this aside for a few minutes while we continue with our discussion. So while the beautiful orange radio is soaking, let's test the power output. The box says that it should output up to 5 watts. Let's see what the Pharsometer 2000 says. So allow me to explain what I am about to do, because if I don't explain it so that every idiot on YouTube can understand it, then every idiot on YouTube is going to leave a comment telling me that I'm doing it wrong. I am going to connect this Messi and Poloni high-quality patch cable into the radio, and the other end is connected to the Pharsometer 2000. Some people may incorrectly pronounce that as the Pharsometer. The correct pronunciation is Pharsometer. The other end of the Pharsometer 2000 is connected to this 50-watt dummy load. This will prevent most of the signal from bleeding out into the air, so there is no need to leave a comment letting us know that some signal will actually make it out into the air. We know that, and nobody cares. When I turn on the radio and press the oh, I almost forgot. How could I have forgotten? Where was I? With the radio powered on, I will press the push-to-talk button, which will send the electricities through my Messi and Poloni cable into the Pharsometer 2000, and we will get a reading of both the SWR, which will appear on the large section here. We're going to ignore that. It is not a valid SWR because we don't have an antenna connected to it. We have a dummy load. I'm not going to measure the SWR of the antenna that comes with it because it is exceedingly difficult to get a good and accurate SWR reading on a mobile antenna, so I'm not going to bother. But the number we are interested in will be right there. That will be the power output in wattages. So the radio is on. We will start on channel 1. The radio is set to high power as indicated by the H there. Then we'll press the push to talk button and we get 5.33 watts. Perfect. Now most radios have different power outputs across the frequency range. So I'll now go to a higher channel, channel 15, and we get 5.25 watts. We will now go to yet a higher frequency, Channel 22, 5.29 watts, and we'll go to a higher repeater frequency, which transmits in the 467 megahertz range, and we get 5.14 watts. So pretty much 5 watts across the entire band, which is very good. Now, of course, the big question is, how many FARs does it talks? And to answer that question, we are going to use the wet one. Oh, it's all sticky. Actually, the answer to that question is of how many FARs does it talks. The technical answer is pretty much the same as every 5-watt GMRS radio I've tested. And yes, it does still work after being soaked for 5 minutes or so. It is indeed submersible. So using the Wouxun KG-S88G, I am able to hit my 2 favorite repeaters, one at 30 miles away. Let's test that. That little beep was from the repeater 30 miles away in that direction, and the other repeater 69 miles away. Yes, it is 69 miles away in roughly that direction. Let's see if we can hit that. And that little kerchunk you heard was from that other repeater. And yes, I know it is rude to kerchunk a repeater, but I just did it anyway. And also allow me to clarify something again for the 100th time, because if I don't, some people will leave comments calling me a liar, saying that it is not actually possible to transmit that far using a handheld radio, or saying that their radio must be defective because they can only transmit 1 or 2 miles or some other shorter distance. So allow me to make this very clear. Xenu has blessed me by giving me a home on top of a very high hill, overlooking the valley below. Both of those repeaters are located on mountains that are higher than my high hill, 69 miles away and 30 miles away. So because I am here and they are up here, there is nothing between this and those other 2 repeaters. I have very good line of sight to both of those repeaters. How many FARs your radio talks depends on many factors. The biggest factor is what is between your radio and whatever you're trying to talk to at the other end. Basically, what I'm saying, if you haven't figured it out yet, is that your FARs may vary. Now, as you all know, repeaters have very large antennas and are usually on very high mountains, as I just mentioned. So to help me do a direct radio-to-radio test, directly from one radio to the other radio, I have my friend Chris at his house, 10 miles away in that direction, basically right behind you. And as everyone knows, my friend Chris is the real star of this channel, but he has been very busy lately. He has been doing his part every day to help with the baby formula shortage, and he has also been very busy for the last few weeks training the local police department on how to defuse bombs. But he was nice enough to set aside a few brief moments for us so that we could test radio to radio, what some experts call simplex, directly from one radio to the other, so we can see how well the Wouxun KGS88G works. Chris also has a brand new Wouxun KGS88G at his house. He is standing in his driveway waiting for me to call him. Just sitting there. It's probably hot outside. We're in Southern California. Just waiting. So let's see how well we can talk to each other. 10 miles away. Again, I am up on the hill. He is in the valley below. So we have good line of sight, not perfect line of sight. There are many houses and trees and things between us, but basically we have good line of sight. Let's see how he comes in. Chris 530, do you copy?
Yes, sir. I copy loud and clear.
Chris, say hello to your adoring fans. Give me a 3 count and let me know how well I'm coming in down there.
Well, hello to all fans. This is Chris 530. I copy loud and clear. Little bit of hits under you, but loud and clear. Perfectly signal.
So as you could hear, 10 miles away from one KG-S88G to another KG-S88G, both at high power with decent or good line of sight. 10 miles away, we were able to talk to each other, no problem. a little bit of static, and a little bit of hiss, but it worked. So should you buy the new Wouxun Ocean KG-S88G? That depends. If you're shopping for a cheap $30 radio, then no. If, however, what you crave is a good quality super heterodyne radio that is rugged and fully waterproof and submersible, then yes.